Okay, Jim Gold. We were exchanging ideas about this week, and you came up with a genius idea I'm going to give you credit for. We want to talk about our lights, and we wanted to, with The Walking Dead being on, we want to talk about Walking Dead, but not enough to make it a segment. So you said, why not have a dead light?
I know, right?
It was so good.
I know. So Deadlight. So we're in the second episode of Walking Dead, and it was a combination of, it was the best thing that ever happened to me this episode and the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. If you're not caught up, maybe fast forward like 5 minutes and we'll be on to the green light. But if you are, listen up because we want to talk about it for a minute. Did you have any premonition that something bad was going to happen to Bob?
No, zero.
See, anytime,
I had no idea anything was going to happen. For me,
anytime they start, like, anyone's hopeful, there's any kind of romance, I feel like someone's dying. And I thought, is it Bob? Well, okay, it was that. I saw Bob and Tasha. Is it Tasha?
His girlfriend?
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Whatever. I saw them kissing and, like, having romance. And number two, there's more black characters on the show than has ever been. And I thought, there's no way all of them make it out alive. They're going to have to kill somebody because of the show's history.
So what I did love about, here's what I thought happened. And I need an explanation. I thought when they were in that food bank and he went under, I thought he got bit. But he didn't tell anybody he got bit. So then that's why he was like kind of really anxious in the church. And he was like, one last kiss to Sasha. Yes, her name is Sasha. And one last kiss. And then when he walked outside and cried, like, why was he crying outside in the dark?
That's my theory. He got bit. And he was about to kill himself. Because he saw the gun tucked in his waistband.
Yes.
I think he was going to kill himself.
So the question is, oh my gosh. I was not prepared to see Gareth. I was not prepared for that. I was glad that Bob was alive, but that was maybe the most disgusting.
That was tough.
Like we had a listener, Sean Stinson, who answered our question about scariest moments, and his answer was the final 5 minutes of The Walking Dead yesterday. I've seen way too many scary, gory movies, and it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
Man, it was tough. It was tough. And this was written by Robert Kirkman, and this sequence is pulled right out of the comic, but in a different way, which I thought was really interesting. But follow your logic. You were about to, and then you stopped yourself. If we think Bob got bit, and we now think people are munching,
eating.
What does that mean for Gareth and company?
I mean, if you eat a zombie, you're eating infected flesh, so you should become infected, right?
Right. Did you think...
That has to be the case.
I think so. Did you think they made Bob's leg look a little too good?
Like, you mean his, like, a pedicure? Like, his feet looked like they were too well taken care of?
No, his leg looked a little too much like pulled pork.
Ew.
It did. I'm just being honest.
I'm pretty sure that's racist, by the way. But
what do you mean?
You can't say he looked like pulled pork. That's gross.
I would have said that if it would have been Glenn or if it would have been Rick.
I don't know. It just feels weird. I don't feel like we should talk about his black leg. I just don't think we should talk about it.
Nobody put a color on it. I'm just saying them eating the food looked delicious. You know,
it did look good. So that's the question, right? Who was it? Like, who was it?
Who was? What are you talking about?
Like whose like what leg was it? I mean, like, what was the material you used to make the stuff that looks like a leg? Like, were they eating actual pulled pork? The actors, like, what were they eating?
Oh, it has to be pulled pork. Has to be. Like, yeah, it has to be. Because I wish they would have let it breathe a little bit, because the assertion was better than, it was almost like when he was talking about like look, I'm eating your leg, and he held it up. It was too much. Like they leaned on it too much, and I wish they would have just been like, oh yeah, this was cool. What else? Carol's a little weird. That whole interaction felt a little weird.
It doesn't feel weird. Carol, this is the person who, she was dumped from this group. She was let off on the side of the road.
I'm not mad at Carol. I'm just being like, it felt weird. Like, I don't understand what they were doing. Why were they staying overnight? Why were they why were they trying to jump the car?
Well, she was trying to leave. She was packing up. She was going to leave the group.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got, that she was going to leave the group. So she was packing. And that's why he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I just can't. Can't. You know, like, I think she just doesn't feel comfortable in that group.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Despite the fact that she's completely earned her way back into it.
I think she's like, dude, these people weigh me down.
Well, the worst part about all of this was Beth. I hope Beth is not in that car.
You said worse, but I think you meant Beth.
No, here's what's the problem too. I love this episode because I loved having them all together and them walking on the trail, and it was like lovely, and we got some character development and some interaction, and I just thought it was so lovely. And then they started leaving the group. I thought, don't leave. Where are you going?
Why would
don't
you
follow
leave?
that car. Don't tell it. Like, I thought, Daryl, you need to go tell someone where you're going. We need some walkie-talkies. Are there no walkie-talkies?
No, none work evidently. I don't know. At Gareth, they bought up all the walkie-talkies in South Georgia. Question: what are the odds of a black Catholic minister existing in South Georgia?
I would say that's a 4%
Less.
possibility.
Even in the apocalypse, less.
So yeah, you say that even there's no way.
Was it an Episcopal church?
Well, yes, because he was married.
Do they still wear the collar?
Uh-huh. Well, it depends. It depends on the Episcopal
I didn't know
church.
that. What do you think he did?
I think they're just giving us the undercurrent that he did something. I don't think he did anything.
Oh,
I
he
think
did something.
That was his wife that he recognized in the food bank, the zombie, that freaked him out because he recognized her.
Sure.
And then I don't think he did anything. Maybe he harbored. He had to do something right. They wrote on the wall. What do you think what he did?
I think he didn't let anybody in. Locked everybody out. That's why he ate all the cans.
That's why he feels
so
bad.
Immaculate, yeah. I think he shut everybody out.
Do I feel bad that he did that? No, I don't.
Would you have done that?
I think I might have done that. Locked that door and been like, sorry.
Okay. So good season so far. We're big fans. Do you want to do your green light?
I do want to do my green light. So my green light this week is another album that I love that I've been listening to on repeat. It's Ben Howard's new album called I Forget Where We Are. It has so many good songs on it. This is his sophomore album. He's a British singer-songwriter, kind of folky. This album, his first album, his big hit was Only Love. I suggest that song. It's a great song. But why I suggest this, like if you like, I'm going to talk to music foodies first. Call them music foodies. So if you like Damien Rice or Ray LaMontagne or Bon Iver or Noah Noel, like you'll love Ben Howard. For those who don't know who any of those people are, if you like your Lumineers sad and depressing, or if you like Ed Sheeran, quieter and less Taylor Swifty, then you'll really love Ben Howard. It's one of those albums that you just want to sit in a room alone and feel all your feelings and just be in that space. It's such a good album.
I really like the idea of making like Taylor Swifty like a thing. I like that phrase.
Like an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's got a Taylor Swifty.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. So that's my green light. So go get that album.
My big on the music. I'm glad you're carrying the musical load here.
Great.
I've got nothing to offer. My green light is the bromance between Shia LaBeouf and Brad Pitt. I don't understand what it is or why it is, but I just like it. I like that. Was it Shia called Brad his husband?
Called him his husband.
I don't understand it. But yeah, I'm good with it. I'm still pro Shia. I'm still pro Shia LaBeouf.
Listen, Shia needs someone to guide him back into reality, and who better than Brad Pitt? People love Brad Pitt.
I feel like he has
Brad
100%
Pitt married
approval
his
rating.
longtime girlfriend. He's got these 6 kids that come from all over, including his own womb. I mean, like, people love Brad Pitt. So who better to be your, therapist, mentor, guide than
Yeah.
Brad Pitt?
Like, even Stevens carries such weight for me, so I give him all the rope he needs to get back on track.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of good work. I feel like these last weeks in promoting Fury, he's done a lot of good work on shows. Like if you can go find, we'll post a link to it. His interview on Ellen was really good about him really kind of saying, listen, I was crazy and I'm trying not to be crazy anymore.
And I feel like everyone who works with him in a director or like co-star capacity has nothing but good things to say about him.
Except maybe Alec Baldwin.
Except Alec Baldwin, which is fine.
But I don't think Alec Baldwin likes many people.
Yeah, I don't know. He's someone we can lean on for advice about humans. So that's my green light. What's your red?
My red light is Monica Lewinsky on Twitter. This week, Monica Lewinsky joined Twitter, and at last check, she had over 60,000 followers. She tweeted a couple times. Her first tweet was hashtag here we go. And I thought, no, we shouldn't. Like, who in your life? And she just spoke at a 30 Under 30 summit and talked about she did a Forbes inaugural in Philadelphia and talked about her scandal and kind of joining Twitter and how she was patient. She called herself patient zero for cyberbullying, which I think is true. Like I thought that's true. That's true. She was the first person to really have their reputation destroyed worldwide by the internet. And that's a quote from her. But I will say, Monica, you helped get a president impeached. Like you were part of getting a president impeached. So what I think you need to do is do what you were doing, which was just stay out. And I know that's what Hillary Clinton's camp is saying. The last thing we need is Monica Lewinsky on Instagram and YouTube and Snapchat and Vine. Like, do not need that. So I feel like her going on Twitter to fight cyberbullying, I think she's going to be very disappointed with her experience on Twitter.
Yeah, especially given the medium. I've watched enough Scandal to assume that a Republican operative is behind this Monica Lewinsky emergence into pop culture. Agree or disagree?
Oh, sure. Oh, I'm sure it's like Rand Paul probably called her up for coffee and was like, hey, let's go have coffee. You know,
we need to get you
doctor,
a platform.
My dad's a doctor. I'm a doctor. Let's just talk. Like maybe we have espresso and talk about the internet.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Did you realize that happened? Well, I was reading a great article too, just really quick, about that millennials don't even fully embrace or understand that whole Clinton Lewinsky scandal.
That doesn't surprise me.
Slate did a great article on it, and we'll link to it. But that one millennial said, the whole scandal remains opaque to me to this day. It's a black hole of knowledge for me between my actual current events experience and study of history. I guess I should read up on it and inform myself, but it just seems so silly in hindsight. When I remember it consuming.
Oh, completely. It was like a black hole of culture. I feel like if you're going to use the word opaque in a conversation, you need to understand about the Clinton scandal.
Yeah, you can't. I was talking to somebody who was 19 this week and asked that same, because I was thinking about this episode, and I was asked them, what do you know about O.J. Simpson? And they're like, he drove a white Bronco.
Wow, man.
I was like, do you know anything about what went on? And they're like, did he go to jail? I don't remember. And like, they didn't know. And I thought, gosh, I left class to go watch that trial. Like I skipped classes to watch that trial. It was so all consuming. So
it's weird. The Kardashians happened because of O.J. Simpson.
The Kardashians have ruined.
You need to understand who this person
political
is.
Scandals for us.
My red light is two things. One, really quick. I saw the poster for Peter Pan Live with Christopher Walken as Captain Hook and Marnie from
Allison
Girls.
Williams.
Holy Lord Almighty! Like I'm hopeful because I like those people. It just looks weird. It just looks really weird. Her haircut looks really, really weird. It's the
She's
first.
Supposed to be a boy.
Well, I understand. I understand. It just looks weird, and it makes me feel weird things. That's all I'll say. Secondly, I don't know. Have you seen this? The Hannibal Buress, I think is how you say his last name. He's done a stand-up thing on. It was kind of a biting piece about Bill Cosby that people didn't know how to take, but he was talking about Bill Cosby has all these standards for comedians, and he kept saying how Bill Cosby is a rapist. And most people, I read it and I was like, what is that? And even in the stand-up, he says, Google Bill Cosby and rape. And now most of the references are to Hannibal Buress saying that. But if you look a little deeper, and there's a thing on Vulture that we'll link to, it's a timeline of sexual assault and rape charges against Bill Cosby. I had no idea about this. And I have no idea if they're true or not. It does seem to be a lot of smoke right now, which is alarming. But with him having a sitcom coming on NBC, I think next year, it's an interesting thing to look at. And especially, it's going to be really interesting to see how all this plays out because it's getting a lot of buzz. And I'm not saying it's going viral, but it's entering the public consciousness way more than it had. So I don't know. Look it up and do your own investigation into it.
So for all of you thinking about dressing up like Ray Rice for Halloween, your backup should not be Bill Cosby.
Backup should not be Bill Cosby. Can we please talk about Halloween costumes to not wear next week?
We will do it. It'll be our whole episode. Okay. We'll dedicate to it.
Okay. I think that's it, Jamie. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the podcast.
Okay, so make sure you go to iTunes. Help us get to 100 reviews. It would mean the world to us. You can find me, Jamie Golden, on Twitter at Jamie's Rabbits or at my blog, jamiesrabbits.com.
And I'm Knox McCoy. You can find me on Twitter at Knox McCoy or my blog, knoxmccoy.com. Thanks for listening.